The 2026 NFL Draft just wrapped up in Pittsburgh, and while most of the draft conversation has centered on Fernando Mendoza going first overall, or the Cardinals taking a running back at number 3, one moment from Thursday night has set the internet on fire. A New York Giants draft pick, seconds after hearing his name called on national television, looked into the camera and delivered a message to his new quarterback that has people talking. And we're going to look at why those words hit so hard and what they mean for a franchise trying to claw its way back. Let's start at Acrisure Stadium on draft night, when the Giants made their move. On Thursday, April 23, 2026, the first round of the NFL Draft kicked off in Pittsburgh. Indiana Hoosiers quarterback Fernando Mendoza was selected by the Las Vegas Raiders as the number 1 pick. The Heisman Trophy winner had been expected to be the top selection for months, after he led the Hoosiers to the College Football Playoff National Championship in a 16-0 season. The Jets followed at number 2 with David Bailey, an edge rusher out of Texas Tech. Then things got interesting. The Arizona Cardinals made one of the boldest and most debated selections in this year's draft, taking running back Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame with the 3rd overall pick. The Tennessee Titans took Ohio State wide receiver Carnell Tate at number 4. And then it was the Giants' turn. The New York Giants made Arvell Reese the first selection of the John Harbaugh era. On Thursday night, with the number 5 overall pick of the 2026 NFL Draft. That pick was expected by some, but what was not expected was what the Giants would do with their second first-round pick, the 10th overall selection they had acquired from the Cincinnati Bengals, in a trade that sent defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence to Cincinnati. The New York Giants got young quarterback Jackson Dart. Some needed protection when they selected Miami tackle Francis Mauigoa with the 10th overall pick of the 2026 NFL Draft on Thursday night. Now, offensive linemen are not the kind of picks that usually generate viral moments. They shake the commissioner's hand, put on the hat, hold the jersey, and disappear into the green room. That is normally how it goes. Not this time. After the New York Giants picked offensive tackle Francis Mauigoa out of Miami with the number 10 overall pick, he had a message for Dart. Mauigoa was asked by ESPN's Laura Rutledge what he wanted to say to his new quarterback. "I'm ready to die for you," Mauigoa said to Dart through the camera. And to be clear, he said it multiple times. That was the moment that broke the internet. Not a touchdown celebration, not a guarantee of a championship. An offensive lineman, a position that is built on anonymity, standing on a draft stage in front of millions of viewers and telling his quarterback, a man he had never shared a huddle with, that he was ready to die for him. "I'll die about this man," he told ESPN when asked what he wanted Jackson Dart to know about how he will protect him. "I'm ready to die for you, man." And that was not the end of it. Mauigoa delivered a message to Giants quarterback Jackson Dart. "I'll die for this. I'll die for you. I know a lot of things that have happened, but I'm ready to die for you." Those words were not rehearsed. They were not part of some corporate media training session. They came from a 329-pound offensive lineman from American Samoa, who had waited all night to hear his name. And the first thing on his mind was letting the man behind center know exactly what kind of teammate he was getting. So who is Francis Mauigoa? And why did those words resonate with the football world? Francis "CC" Mauigoa's journey to the NFL draft stage did not begin in a major American city with state-of-the-art training facilities and blue-chip high school programs. It began thousands of miles away in American Samoa, a tiny U.S. territory in the South Pacific that has produced a disproportionately staggering number of NFL players relative to its population. The island's football culture is deeply embedded in community, family, and sacrifice, and those values ran through every word Mauigoa spoke on draft night. His heritage is something he takes great pride in. "Born and raised an American Samoan, never thought I'd be here," he said when asked what his message was to his community. "If I can do it, you can do it." Simple as that. Mauigoa also wore an outfit that paid homage to his heritage, which he proudly sported on the NFL draft red carpet. At Miami, Mauigoa became one of the most decorated offensive linemen in the country. He earned consensus NCAA All-America first-team recognition, was selected as the annual winner of the ACC's Jacobs Blocking Trophy, honoring the conference's top blocker, was selected to the All-ACC first team, and started all 42 games of his career at right tackle, never missing one start. Mauigoa was a major reason why the Miami Hurricanes were able to make the college football national championship against the Indiana Hoosiers back in January. His NFL scouting profile paints the picture of a mauler with the feet of a dancer. At 6'6", 335 pounds, Mauigoa has exceptional mass and inbuilt power, and he's a nimble, explosive, and rangy mover with easy hip flexibility, torque, and realignment freedom. He was considered by many to be the premier offensive line prospect. In the entire 2026 class, NFL insider Connor Hughes of SNY added that most sources he spoke with believed Mauigoa to be the best lineman in this class. But the pre-draft process was not without its bumps. Concerns about Mauigoa's back popped up during the pre-draft process. But the Giants, now led by first-year head coach John Harbaugh, hired Adam Bennett as head athletic trainer this offseason, a role he previously held since 2023 at Miami, where he would have treated Mauigoa. Some mock drafts had Mauigoa going as high as third overall to the Arizona Cardinals. Many mock drafts had Mauigoa going to the Arizona Cardinals with the number 3 pick, but his name was only called at the end of the top 10. Whatever the reason for the slide, the Giants were thrilled it happened. Mauigoa dismissed any concerns about the back issue that popped up during combine medical checks, saying, "I know my body. I feel really good and ready to go day one." And then came the question from reporters about where he would play, tackle or guard. The versatility was part of the intrigue. Mauigoa told reporters on a conference call after his selection Thursday night, "It don't matter, man. I'm a resource. Whatever they need me, I'll do it." The Giants had their answer ready. General Manager Joe Schoen confirmed, "We're going to put him inside at guard. He can certainly play tackle. He can certainly always bump back out to tackle at any point, but we're going to start him at guard." But football details aside, the conversation kept circling back to those 6 words spoken on live television. The Die For You pledge had captivated the football world, and reporters pressed Mauigoa on it during his follow-up press conference. "That should be everybody's mentality," Mauigoa said. "As an offensive lineman, we should be able to put everything on the line because the quarterback is the key to the offense. So, to be able to block for a quarterback and to be able to make plays and open up holes for the running back, that's what we're supposed to do. It's not something that people want us to. It's something that we're expected to do. That's what we need to do." Those words were not rhetoric. For Mauigoa, the pledge was philosophical, a window into how he views the very nature of offensive line play. And for the Giants, they land at a time when the franchise desperately needs exactly that kind of ferocity up front. The reason Mauigoa's message resonated so deeply is context. Jackson Dart is not just any second-year quarterback trying to find his footing. He is a quarterback who has taken a physical beating, beyond what most young signal callers endure. The Giants reportedly are worried about Dart's long-term health after he missed 2 games because of a concussion and was pulled from contests 5 times to get checked for a concussion as a rookie. 5 times in a single season. That is an alarming number for any player, let alone a franchise quarterback in his first year. Dart had dealt with a rough rookie season. He took big hits during his rookie season as the Giants starter, which sparked criticism of his failure to slide when he sees defenders rushing toward him. Still, Dart has maintained that he will keep running the way he wants. Dart himself has been defiant about his playing style. "I understand the question, but this is football. I'm going to get hit if I'm in the pocket or outside the pocket," Dart said. "I've played this way my whole entire life. It shouldn't be any shocker to anybody if you followed along with my career. We're not playing soccer out here. You're going to get hit. Things happen. It's just part of the game." That is the kind of statement that both excites a fan base and terrifies a front office. The Giants know they have a quarterback with legitimate talent and fearless instincts. They also know that fearlessness, left unprotected, can lead to a career cut devastatingly short. The franchise had seen this movie before, where a quarterback with enormous potential is squandered because the wall in front of him crumbles play after play. The Giants, who went 4-13 in 2025, have made the playoffs just twice in 12 seasons, since winning the Super Bowl following the 2011 season. The years of ineptitude have been defined by many failures, but a recurring theme has been the offensive line. They chose to add to an offensive line that, while good enough in 2025, has been a problem more often than not for most of the last 15 years. So when Francis Mauigoa stood on that stage and said he was ready to die for his quarterback, he was not simply making a dramatic declaration for clicks and retweets. He was speaking directly to the deepest organizational wound the Giants carry. He was telling Jackson Dart and the entire Giants fan base that the days of their quarterback scrambling for his life behind a porous front were over. Mauigoa also alluded to the fact that Dart had dealt with a rough rookie season with some injuries, which Mauigoa called adversity. Clearly, he had thought about the Giants as a destination, and clearly Mauigoa wants the Giants to know he's ready to commit himself to the cause. Mauigoa is the first Miami offensive lineman to be picked in the first round, since Ereck Flowers was selected with the 9th pick in the 2015 draft. Also a Giants selection. New York fans are hoping Mauigoa pans out better than Flowers, who was traded halfway through his 4th season with the team. The specter of Ereck Flowers looms large. That 2015 pick became synonymous with the Giants' failure to build an offensive line. In many ways, Mauigoa's arrival is the organization's attempt to right a wrong that has festered for over a decade. And based on the passion in his words, Mauigoa seems to understand the weight of that responsibility. Dart, with a full offense in 2026, has everything in place to succeed. The returns of Malik Neighbors and Cam Scottibo will make the Giants dangerous when the ball is in their hands. Mauigoa will help them even more. Francis Mauigoa was not the only new Giant to make headlines on draft night. The man selected 5 picks before him, Ohio State linebacker Arvell Reese, had his own statement that sent ripples through the NFL. The image that I remember growing up, I always felt like the Ravens played fast and violent. Reese said, "That's kind of what I try to model my game after. Being fast and violent, always thinking violence for sure. Always thinking violence." That phrase, combined with Mauigoa's ready-to-die pledge, paints a clear picture of what the new-look Giants are going to be under John Harbaugh. A team built on controlled aggression, physical dominance, and an unshakable mentality that opponents will have to match or get out of the way. With new head coach John Harbaugh in the spotlight, the New York Giants selected Ohio State linebacker Arvell Reese with the number 5 overall pick. In the 2026 NFL Draft on Thursday night in Pittsburgh, Reese, who can play on the edge, but is more known for his elite play against the run, was linked to the New York Jets throughout the offseason. "I can say I'm going to be used in a unique way," Reese said. "I'm a weapon. That's how it's supposed to be." Harbaugh, the man who spent 18 years as the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens and built one of the most ferocious defensive identities in NFL history, was not just picking players, he was picking a culture. "I think we have a bunch of giants, figuratively and literally," Harbaugh said. "We have guys that we really like that are going to make a difference." Harbaugh added, "The fact that they're bigger players, longer, heavy-handed type guys is important, because especially in this division, you've got to play that way." Reese's own journey to this moment was remarkable. Stories about how he had a 0.4 GPA in high school, then earned a 3.7 GPA at Ohio State, spread like wildfire on draft night. That narrative of transformation aligned perfectly with the turnaround Harbaugh is attempting in New York. Scouts are salivating over his potential to become a Micah Parsons-like game-wrecking linebacker, propelling him up the draft board over the last 6 weeks. On the other side of the ball, Harbaugh's selection of Mauigoa at number 10 was equally strategic. "These are 2 top 5 players in this draft, in our opinion," Harbaugh said, referring as well to David Bailey, who went to the Jets at number 2, but noted that Reese ranked first internally among non-quarterbacks. "You couldn't do any better. I know we've got a great vision for him," Harbaugh said of Reese. "And I think we saw him. He's a player that fits our structure, our defense very uniquely. And maybe that's hard for people to see, but you'll see it soon enough." Even the existing roster got involved. Abdul Carter needed just one word to let the world know how he feels about the Giants' Arvell Reese pick. Carter wrote in a social media post on X, formerly Twitter, following the Giants' Reese selection. Carter added a fire emoji for emphasis, and to make it even clearer how much he loves that he'll now be playing alongside Reese. New York has Carter and Brian Burns. The Giants also still have Kayvon Thibodeau. The front 7 is stacking up to be one of the most imposing in the entire league. And now, with Mauigoa anchoring the offensive line, the Giants are constructing a roster that embodies a philosophy of overwhelming physicality. On both sides of the football, When you combine Mauigoa's declaration to die for his quarterback, with Reese vowing to bring violence on every snap, it becomes clear that this is not just a roster construction. It is a statement of intent. The Giants, after years of being the NFC East's punching bag, are declaring that the era of being pushed around is finished. So we come back to the words that started this entire conversation. Francis Mauigoa, standing on a stage in Pittsburgh, 6'5.5" and 329 pounds, looking into a camera and telling a man he had never played alongside that he was ready to die for him. In a league that has become increasingly corporate and media trained, where rookies are coached to speak in cliches and avoid controversy, Mauigoa's words cut through the noise like a hot knife. There was no hesitation in his voice, no performative bravado. "I'm ready to die for you, man," Mauigoa told Dart on the stage, and later told reporters that should be everybody's mentality. As offensive linemen, we should be able to put everything on the line because the quarterback is the key to the offense. The reason these words qualify as a chilling message is not because they are threatening. They are chilling because they represent a level of commitment that most people in football or in life will never articulate with that kind of raw, unfiltered conviction. You do not hear offensive linemen get asked questions on draft night. You especially do not hear them deliver declarations of absolute loyalty to a teammate they have never met. And yet that is exactly what happened. For the Giants, the timing could not be more critical. The team is reportedly worried about Dart's long-term health. After a harrowing rookie campaign, bringing in a lineman who views protecting the quarterback as a borderline sacred duty addresses not just a positional need but an emotional one. Dart needs to know that the wall in front of him is not just technically capable, but passionately invested in keeping him upright. For the rest of the 2026 draft class, there were powerful moments as well. Mendoza's underdog story began as a two-star high school prospect from Christopher Columbus High School. Cal Berkeley was the only Power 5 program to offer him a scholarship. He ultimately spent 2 seasons as their starting quarterback, later transferring to Indiana. A magical 16-0 season with a national championship and Heisman Trophy ensued. His message at his introductory press conference was different in tone, but equally compelling. The Raiders are a core historic franchise and one of the faces of the NFL. And I feel like, again, I need to prove it and earn it every single day, especially as a rookie. Nothing's given. And my belief in that everything is earned. So I'm going to come in humble, try to establish myself with my work ethic, and lead by example. But at the end of the day, it's all great saying these words, but I've got to do it. And then Arvell Reese, the Giants' other first-round pick, telling the world that he is always thinking violence and that he models his game after the most physically punishing defense in modern NFL history. But of all the words spoken during the 2026 NFL Draft, Francis Mauigoa's 6 words to Jackson Dart are the ones that will endure, because they captured something elemental about what football is supposed to be. A game where the man standing next to you in the trenches is willing to sacrifice everything so you can do your job. Not for personal glory, not for a highlight reel, for the teammate beside you. The Giants went 4-13 last year. They have been an afterthought in the NFC East and in the broader NFL conversation for the better part of a decade. But with John Harbaugh at the helm, Arvell Reese bringing violence on defense, and Francis Mauigoa promising to lay his body on the line for his quarterback, the message coming out of East Rutherford this offseason is unmistakable. The New York Giants are no longer asking for respect. They are demanding it. And it all started with a 329-pound man from American Samoa, a camera, and 6 words that the football world will not forget anytime soon.